And what up everybody's Anime Junkie, and today we're doing What If Deku Stayed Quirkless Part 8. And now, let's get to the intro. Okay guys, last time Deku and Melissa went to Japan together, and now they will be living together too. Okay, before I start the video, the reason why I'm back is because my parents told me to upload again because I was slacking around the house and just packing with them. But tomorrow I'm not going to be uploading because I have to catch a flight, so I'll be on the flight, but I can't really record on a flight, so I'll be writing a script on the flight, and as soon as I get to India I'll start recording it. I'm taking all of my equipment or my temporary setup right now. My PC isn't fixed yet. I actually gave it to the company that made the PC, and they're basically having a look at it. So yeah, I'm just working on my MacBook. It was really hard to set up, but I do have a temporary setup now. So yeah, and this is the unscripted part. I'm just starting off with this because I didn't really want to write this down first because it's a really small part. And I would like to thank all of you guys who supported me in the comments below because it was really helpful, and I really appreciate having an amazing fan base like you guys. So yeah, thank you for supporting me. And now, let's get to the story. Deku was warned by Melissa's dad not to try anything with her. Deku and Melissa start blushing, and then Deku promises that he won't try anything. Now let's skip to the part where they arrive at Deku's house. So Deku has a training shed in his backyard where he most of the time sleeps and trains. So they walk in, and Deku's mom sees Deku and a girl next to him. She asks who that girl is, and Deku explains who she is and that she will be living with us. Before Deku's explanation, Inko was freaking out because she thought her son just brought a prostitute to their house. But now she understands, and she asks where is she gonna sleep, and Deku answers, "Oh, my training shed." Right then, Inko hits Deku in the head and said, "No, you're sleeping in the shed and she is sleeping in the house," while she walks with Melissa to Deku's bedroom. Now, 1 week later, Deku did have romantic moments with Melissa, but they're still at the point where they just find out that they have romantic feelings for each other. Now, do you guys want Melissa to be in the dorms with Class 1A? Just for safety reasons. Totally not for Deku and Melissa's relationship to kick in high gear. So tell me in the comments below. Now let's move on to the forest training camp. Melissa really does want to go to the forest training camp because she wants to study all the Class 1A quirks. So Deku and Melissa go to Principal Nezu's office to ask for permission. Nezu says no to that idea, but Deku thinks of something really convincing. He tells Nezu that Melissa was seen by the villains that attacked Eye Island, so he tells them they might be coming for her. So instead of making her stay in the city, let's take her along to keep her safe, right? Nezu thinks for a moment and said, "Okay, that is a good idea. We can't be sure that the villains won't go after Melissa, and she is the nephew of All Might, so we need to keep her safe." And then Deku and Melissa let out a woohoo! So Deku and Melissa pack up their stuff and are ready to go to UA. The rest of Class 1A is also there, ready to go on this training camp. Okay, let's skip to the part where Pixie Bub throws everybody except for Melissa in front of the Beast Forest. Minyata needs to pee like usual and gets attacked by the first beast. Koji tries to talk to the beast, but it wasn't listening to Koji at all. Then Deku learned that these beasts are made of mud and dirt, and assumed that this was one of Pixie Bob's special moves. All of Class 1A teamed up for this test. Eventually, after a while, Class 1A gets to the campsite. They go inside to eat dinner and soak up in the indoor hot springs. After that, they are brought out by Aizawa and are tested in the throwing test. Bakugo is the obvious choice to test it on. So Bakugo throws a ball and it only goes 709.6 meters, 4 meters longer than his previous score in his fitness exam. Everyone is shocked. Aizawa tells them that the only thing they have grown in is their mental power and maybe some stamina. He also said the only people in this class that have become stronger are Midoriya and Kirishima. Now go rest up because tomorrow's training you're gonna feel like you're dying. The next morning, everybody is doing their training or their special training. Everybody is also doing the same training as their canon self, except for Kirishima and Deku. Kirishima doesn't really need to work on his hardening because he's already trained with Deku on that. So now he's probably working on his special attacks with Deku. By this time, Class 1B students should have also started their training too. Then 1 week later, everybody's teamed up for the Walk of Courage. Class 1B is supposed to scare Class 1A. Deku is paired up with Melissa because the Wild Wild Pussycats knew that Deku and Melissa like each other. So their group goes last. So they start. After 3 groups in, the scarers of Class 1B start falling like flies because of the poisonous gas in the air. Pixie Bub notices the poisonous gas in the air. Deku mentions the black smoke coming from the woods and it looks like it's coming from blue flames. And suddenly Pixie Bub starts floating backwards. Deku tries to catch her but then is held back because his hunting instinct told him that if he did, he would be in danger. Right then Pixie Bub was hit by a blunt object to the head and was knocked out cold. Then the rest of the members of the Vanguard Action Squad spread throughout the forest to pick their targets. 2 villains show their faces and one is holding the blunt object that struck Pixie Bub in the head and the other one is holding a giant sword made up of different blades. Deku goes in a fighting pose but the others here stop him. Mandalay has a very worried look on her face. Deku looks at Mandalay and figures out that she is worried about Koda. Deku tells Mandalay that he knows where Koda is, and Mandalay tells him that to go get Koda. Now in the forest, Kendo acted quickly and covered another Class 1B student's mouth when the gas started appearing. Kendo moves away from the gas to figure out the situation. Then she ran into Ibari and Tetsu with gas masks on. They also happen to have 3 spare gas masks on. Now let's get to Koda's situation. He is slowly moving backwards in fear, looking at the giant towering man with a white mask and a black cloak on. He said, "Hey kid, nice hat. Wanna trade me for this lame mask they forced me to wear?" As he removes the mask, Koda right then turns around and runs away and sees the man jump in front of it. Koda sees the man's hood covering half of his face. As soon as he looks at Koda in the eye, Koda remembers the man's face who killed his parents, and it's the same man who was about to kill him. At that moment, Koda saw Deku appears right next to the man's face and punches it, shouting, "Piss off!" sending the man flying into the wall next to him. Deku lands and runs to Koda, thinking, "I used 20 times Limit Breaker on that punch. He should be down for the count." Deku tells Koda to get on his back and let's get out of here. Right then, Muscular just jumps out of the wall and comes out of the muscle that he wrapped himself in after being hit by Deku. Then we see Muscular with a bloody head. Then he looks at Deku and said, "Oh, you're that Quirkless kid, aren't you? Your hero name was Zero, right? Meaning nothing. Well, that's going to be you after I'm done." Then Muscular powers up to his full power to kill Deku and Koda in one blow. Deku pushes Koda away, and then in a flash, Deku was blown away into the forest. Koda was shocked. The person who was considered the number 1 or the top of the class in Class 1A Hero Course was just one-shotted. Then Koda started yelling at Muscular about how he killed his parents, the Water Hose Heroes. Muscular is in a great mood. He just killed his first target successfully, and now he gets to take revenge on the brat of the people who took his left eye from him. He activates his quirk to kill Koda, and then he hears, "Take this!" As soon as Muscular turns around, he gets kicked in the face by Deku and goes flying. Deku lands and he knows that he can't win this alone, so he asks Koda, "What is your quirk?" Koda tells him that he has a water quirk. After that answer, Deku has a worried look on his face. Muscular gets up again. "Damn it, that was the second hit to my head, and it's getting annoying." Muscular thinks, "Wait a minute, that blow should have killed any normal person without a quirk, but how is he standing? Fine, looks like I have to use that now." Muscular pulls out a weird looking disc from his pocket and puts it on his left eye. And then he activates his quirk. It seems like his quirk got a big power boost. And then Deku gets a flashback from Eye Island. No, it couldn't be. A quirk enhancer? No, it must be a prototype. Muscular stops and asks Deku a question. "Hey kid, do you know where Katsuki Bakugo is? Oh, and Melissa's shield?" Deku has a shocked and worried look on his face, and then it turns into a murderous face filled with anger. And then he puts his finger up to his forehead and shouts, "Limit Breaker, ×3! Well, you see, in Deku's training, he ended up mastering ×3 of Limit Breaker. He zooms at Muscular. Muscular didn't have the speed to react to it because he's really muscular. Deku gets behind his blind spot and takes the eye patch off. And then Muscular powers down. And then, in a split second, Muscular's vision turns upside down. And then he sees Koda looking at him with a shocked look on his face. And then we see Deku on Muscular's shoulders and Muscular's head upside down, instantly killing him. Deku carries Koda back towards the campsite. He runs into Aizawa and gives Koda to him and tells him to take care of it. Before leaving, Aizawa tells Deku to give a message to Mandela that every student is allowed to use their quirk in self-defense. Deku gets there in a few minutes and tells Mandela that Koda's safe, and he also tells them that Aizawa has a message for all the students. They are allowed to use their quirks for self-defense. Koda and Aizawa are running towards the study building where all the students who failed the written exam are. And Koda asks Aizawa if Deku is going to get in trouble. And Aizawa asks why would he be in trouble. And he tells Aizawa that Deku killed the villain who was trying to kill me. Aizawa was shocked at the news. Deku killed a villain? Why? Aizawa said no, but it will depend on the reason he killed the villain. Deku also tells Mandela that the villains are actually after Katsuki Bakugo and Melissa's shield. Let's move on to the others. Tetsu and Kendo ended up defeating the gas villain, like in canon. And Tokoyami did not get out of control because Shoji did not get his arm cut off. So they will be busy taking down Moonfish. Kirishima will eventually run into them and defeat Moonfish because he has one for all with a super strong defense. Todoroki and Bakugo also get there, and Deku also gets there and joins the team. They all move in a circle formation with Bakugo in the middle. And then moving forward, Deku spots Uraraka and Froppy fighting Toga. They all charge into the battle and Toga runs away because she knows better than to charge into an 8-on-1 fight. So Toga runs away, but she still has Uraraka's blood. As soon as they get there, they tell them that they were protecting Bakugo from the villains, and then Uraraka and Froppy look around and say, "Where's Bakugo?" Everybody looks around and Deku spots a man with a top hat and a mask, and the man sees that Deku spotted him, so he introduces himself. "Oh, hello, my name is Mr. Compress. Are you looking for your friends?" He shows them two marbles that have the reflection of Bakugo and Melissa inside of them. Deku activates his ×3 limit breaker and jumps at Mr. Compressed, grasping him tightly and then instantly killing him on the spot. Both Deku and Mr. Compressed land, and Deku takes the marbles and breaks them, releasing Melissa and Bakugo. And if anyone is wondering why Deku goes in a blind rage every time he sees Melissa in danger, is because he is in love with her. That is the only explanation I can give you guys. Mr. Compress is dead, and Dabi sees this happening because he was supposed to get a signal from Mr. Compress in the air, so he sees this and he runs towards the area that Mr. Compress died in. Everyone is shocked at what Deku just did, and Dabi arrives with twice. They see Mr. Compressed on the floor dead, so they attack to finish the mission because their targets are right in front of them. After a while of fighting, Bakugo gets swallowed by a purple portal, and from the purple portal there is a voice coming out from there. "We have one. Now let's go. We've lost too many men." And every villain comes from the forest except for Moonfish, the gas villain, and every villain that Deku killed. Every villain jumps through because Deku and everyone else is just focusing on Melissa and protecting her because they don't want the same thing to happen to her. And that's it. I hope you guys liked this video because it really does help the channel out. And thank you guys for all the support that you gave me last time, or the last video that I uploaded. Thank you guys for all the support, and that's it. Hope you guys like because it really does help the channel out. Hit the subscribe button to join the family, and now hit the bell icon for my future videos. And now, Anime Junkie out.